You won't believe it. Stephen's theory isn't delusion. It's fate recycling itself quietly. Charlie's about to lose it. Charlie's torn, unsure to believe, but knows it's far worse than imagined, and Mount and Darlene's clearly warning him. He was warned not to let his crazy beliefs seep into his life, but trust quickly lest Stephen's prophecy go belly up after Wits closed for the night. Eric stuck around, managing the music alone. His unique style brought life back to the quiet shop. He confidently grabbed some disinfectant and started cleaning, making every tool sparkle like it just came out of a battle. He walked to the shop's center, turned on the fan, which spun slowly as if plotting something. A sense of dread crept into the air, and Eric nervously kissed his father's forehorse, hoping for some magical blessing. Suddenly his emotions broke down, overwhelmed by grief for lost loved ones. The surrounding sound roared loudly. The Grim Reaper doll flew down in fury, knocked over the nostril, scattered supplies, causing a mini chaos. Eric hurriedly stood up, and the chair started a ruckus along with the disinfectant as he bent down to clean up the mess. The chain above quietly loosened. With a loud snap it fell down, snagging his nose ring, sending Eric into a panic. He fumbled to untangle the chain, but the more he struggled, the tighter it got, as if he was joking with the chain. He scrambled onto the chair, racing against the Grim Reaper's chain, but the chain seemed to have the fan's help, pulling tighter on his nose ring. He struggled desperately, kicking the lamp behind him over. The bulb exploded, and disinfectant sprayed everywhere like fireworks. Suddenly, flames burst forth. Eric, without hesitation, jumped toward the counter instead of reaching the fire. The breakable glass had cracked with a snap, colorful rainbows scattered like a dream. At that moment, he actually saw flames racing towards him, just one step away from the Grim Reaper's nose ring. After the battle had ended, Eric finally managed to undo the metal clasp just as dawn broke the next day. Slifen, worried for Eric, dragged Charlie to the Plague Temple, but hadn't gone far. Charlie got the latest news. The Plague Temple had a fire last night. Slifen's face dropped instantly, rushing to ask about it, but just then, a figure dashed into the roadway, and he slammed the brakes only to crash into Eric, who shockingly was unscathed. They thought Eric was gone in the inferno, but Eric explained he wore a leather jacket to save himself last night. He didn't even find it funny, showing off the burn on his arm, casually joking if that was cool or not. Slifen sternly stopped him, saying just because he dodged death last night doesn't mean he's safe. Danger might only be temporarily. But Eric wasn't buying it. He pointed to the repair device, asking Slifen, "Is that going to come to life on its own?" Meanwhile, Slifen was getting more and more anxious, worried that everything around them was just a trap set by the Grim Reaper. Even children's play could trigger misfortune any time. He couldn't predict how, but he knew death had its ways. Never following the rules, the Grim Reaper silently arrives, yet could burst in at any moment. Slifen urgently told him to stay away from the garbage truck, but Eric moved closer, thinking this was all Slifen's panic attack. His warnings were cut off with interruptions and ridicule, until the next second, true death struck. Julia unexpectedly encountered an accident and was dragged into the trash truck for wrecked cars. The driver, jamming to music and scrolling on his phone, completely missed the cries for help. A massive metal plate pressed down, cornering Julia, leaving her struggling in sheer despair. In the last moment, Slifen desperately climbed onto the garbage truck, grabbing Julia's hand, trying to hold her. Meanwhile, Eric and Charlie just intercepted the garbage truck, but the driver's sudden brake caused a violent jolt. Julia's hand slipped from Slifen's grasp, leaving her desperately struggling in the compactor. But it was already too late. The gigantic leg press mercilessly shoved her into the dirt, spilling blood everywhere. Julia's death silenced everyone. Emotions crashed entirely, leaving Slifen engulfed in guilt. She cried, blaming herself for messing up the order of death which caused Julia's demise. However, Sister Autumn honestly revealed that Eric wasn't Howard's biological son. Subtitles: he did not belong to that bloodline, so he was not on the death list. Slifen realized this wasn't a total failure. All predictions were indeed real, hinging on lineage. Slifen needed to regroup and figure out the next target. She found someone named William who successfully escaped. But she didn't say who it was. Her mother knew. Mom had mentioned it in a letter. She knew this friend who worked at the hospital. Maybe they still had a chance to escape Fate's chase, but only before the truth unveiled itself. In the hospital basement, they found William, an unassuming middle-aged man with deep, knowing eyes. He directly called out everyone's names, clearly having known they would arrive. "She is the black boy who rescued Iris in her premonition. The very last person on the death list. For years, she studied ways to fight the Grim Reaper with Iris, helping her fend off death and revealing the secrets to breaking the